right, so we would like to welcome you to the Spelman College Speech and Debate 2021-2022 Team Interest Meeting. My name is Jordan Parker, and I'm serving as the captain and social media director for the team this year. The Spelman College Speech and Debate motto is operating in excellence, and the Spelman College Speech and Debate team operates in excellence by establishing a competitive academic environment that appreciates and upholds the knowledge and ideas of Black women and meaningfully engaging and serving the outside community. So now we can start with intros. I'll let Kaya introduce herself, then we can go to Jalen and I'll reintroduce myself.
Hey guys, I'm glad to see all of you guys here, even though it's over Zoom and we can't be face to face yet. Hopefully we can shortly, but it's just good to see your presence in general. But my name's Kaya Batsi. I'm a third-year sociology major with a concentration in criminology from Columbia, Maryland, and I'm serving as the president this school year.
Hi everyone, so great to see y'all. My name is Jalen White. I am a sophomore biochemistry major, math minor on the pre-med track, and I am serving as this year's vice president.
Hi everyone.
Oh, and I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
I'll let you finish, Jalen, since you got something to get off your chest. Hi everyone. My name is Jordan Parker. I'm a graduating senior political science major, African diaspora studies minor from Atlanta, Georgia. And this year, again, I serve as the captain and social media director for the team. Next, we have our media besties, and we'll start with Nima and end with Aaliyah.
Hi everyone, I'm Nima Griffin. I'm going to be serving as one of your media representatives this year. I'm a junior documentary film, Spanish and writing, documentary film major, Spanish and writing double minor, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Hey friends, I'm sorry I'm in the car driving, but I wanted to show my face. My name is Jerry Wytito. I am a graduating senior sociology major, and I serve as a co-media rep alongside Nima for this year, and I'm excited to meet y'all. And yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Dara DeBao and I will be one of your co-social chairs. I'm excited to connect with you guys over social media, and I'm an international studies major from Hillsboro, Oregon.
What's up, y'all? I am Aaliyah Renee. I am the other social chair. I am a theater and performance major, writing minor. I've been here.
All right, so now we'll move on to our finance besties. We'll start with Eugenia and then go to Talia.
Hey y'all, let me step outside so y'all can hear me. Okay, sure, you son. Okay, hey y'all. My name is Gina Williams, but y'all can call me Jeannie. I am a junior political science major, Spanish minor from Louisiana. And I'll be serving as the administrative assistant to the treasurer this year. So I'm so excited.
Hey sisters, my name is Talia Bradshaw. I'm our Spelman College Debate and Speech Team's treasurer. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, International Studies major. I'm really excited to connect with all of you guys, in person and everything. And I hope that you guys take some interest in the Spelman College debate team.
Yes, Talia. Okay, so now we'll go on, to our community besties. We'll start with Haley and then go over to Nia.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley Johnson. I'm a junior international studies major on the pre-law track, and this year I'll be serving as your college liaison.
Hi everybody, my name is Nia Simone Weeks. I'm a first semester junior, and I will be serving as the administrative assistant to Haley. And I'm from Rex, Georgia, and I'm so excited to see all of y'all.
All right, and now we'll introduce our mini popes. We'll start with Dre, Imani, and then we'll go to Kayana if she's here.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to meet you guys. My name is Dre Hawkins Salmon. I am the administrative assistant. I'm from Okinawa, Japan, and my major is political science on a pre-law track.
And I think that's all we have for our mini popes today. So we'll just move on. So we're going to start breaking down what is speech first, and then we'll go into what is debate. Speech involves a presentation by one or two students that is judged against a similar type of presentation by others in a round of competition. There are two general categories of speech events: public address events and interpretive events. Public address events feature a speech written by the student, either in advance or with limited preparation, that can answer a question, share a belief, persuade an audience, or educate the listener on a variety of topics. Interpretation events center upon a student selecting and performing published material and appeal to many who may enjoy acting in theater. So speech events can include original oratory, poetry, expository, humorous interpretation, international extemporaneous speaking, informative speaking, pro-con challenge, declamation, impromptu, and a whole bunch of other stuff that y'all will see pop up on the screen. So an example of speech, let me pause this while I'm speaking. An example of speech that you all may know, which is actually very common, is acting, but usually in speech and debate tournaments, it'll be in the form of a monologue. So we're just gonna watch Viola Davis's monologue in Fences. And as y'all know, she is the queen of snotting and crying. So she is probably the best example for this category.
I've been standing with you. I've been right here with you, Troy. I got a life too. I gave 18 years of my life to stand in the same spot as you. Don't you think I ever wanted other things? Don't you think I had dreams and hopes? What about my life? What about me? Don't you think it ever crossed my mind to want to know other men, that I wanted to lay up somewhere and forget about my responsibilities, that I wanted someone to make me laugh so I could feel good? You're not the only one who's got wants and needs, but I held on to you, Troy. I took all my feelings, my wants and needs and dreams, and I buried them inside you. I planted a seed and watched and prayed over. I planted myself inside you and waited to bloom. It didn't take me no 18 years to realize the soil was hard and rocky and it was never gonna bloom. But I held on to you, Troy. I held you tighter. You was my husband. I owed you everything I had, every part of me I could find to give you. And upstairs in that bedroom with the darkness falling in on me, I gave everything I had to try and erase the doubt that you wasn't the finest man in the world, and wherever you was going, I was gonna be there with you because you was my husband. Because that's the only way I was gonna survive as your wife. You're always talking about what you give and what you don't have to give. But you take me, Troy. You take. And don't even nobody's giving.
I take and don't give. Troy, you say I take.
Okay, once again, the queen of snotting and crying. Y'all saw it. I think we all saw it. She is amazing. Our next example of what would be considered as speech is the commencement speech in spring 1992 by Maya Angelou. We'll go ahead and get into that at Spelman College.
Get 'em in. Get 'em in, get 'em in. It's where he brought me from. Bid 'em in, get 'em in, bid 'em in. The sun is hot and mighty bright. Let's get down to business, get home tonight. Bid 'em in. Bid 'em in, bid 'em in, bid 'em in. Auctioning slaves is a real high art. Bring that young gal out here, Roy. She's good for a start. And bitter men, get 'em in, bitter men. Now here's a real good side. Great grandmammy was a die-homey queen. Look at her, she sure ain't homely. Like sheep in the Bible, she's black but comely. Bitter men, get 'em in, bitter men. Look where he brought us from. Hey, hey, hey. Don't start at 3. And I hear 3, step up, gents, take a good look see. I know you'll want her once you see her. She's young and ripe and make a damn good breeder. Bitter men, get 'em in, bitter men, look where he brought us. She's good in the field, she can sew and cook. Strip her down, Roy, let the gentleman look. She's full up front, she's ample behind. Examine her teeth if you got a mind. Look, look. Here's a bid of 3 from a man who's 50. 325, can I hear 350? Your money ain't earning you much in the banks. Turn around, Roy, let him look at a flank. Bitter man, get 'em in, bitter man, look, look. 350 is the bid, I'm looking for 4. I hear 4, 400, she's a bargain show. 4 is the bid, 455. Now look alive. Bitter man, get 'em in, bitter man. Don't mind the tears. That's one of her tricks. Turn around, boy. Can I please hear 6? She's healthy and strong. She's well equipped. Make a good lady's maid when she's properly whipped. Bitter men, get 'em in, bitter men. At 7, I'm gonna let her go. 7, 7, 7, she's gone. Strip her down, Roy, and bring the next one on. Bitter men, get 'em in, look where he brought us from. Hey, hey. Oh,
So we can stop it right here. Of course, y'all can go watch it on YouTube if you'd like to see more. But this is an example of spoken word or poetry, which would qualify for a speech tournament. So I will now pass it on to our president, Kaya Gotsi.
Hello, thank you. All right, so next we are the speech and debate teams. Let's get into a little bit about what exactly is debate. So essentially debate involves an individual or a team of students who work together to convince a judge that their points are more valid. And the key principle here is that when we're debating, we understand both sides of the issue so that we can anticipate their arguments and act accordingly. Next slide. Thank you. All right, so for debate events, there aren't as many as speech events, but we do have a policy debate, big questions, public forum debate, congressional debate, British parliamentary, extemporaneous debate, and then Lincoln Douglas, which is, I think, tends to be more of high school, but there are different formats that you can do collegiately as well. Next now. All right, so we have an example here of a debate in pop culture. So this is from the Donahue show. The issue is race, and Jordan is going to play Sister Soldiers debate.
The volume isn't working.
Jordan, we can't hear it.
Sorry, let's run it back. My bad.
To the white community, and nobody is there for the intergenerational transfer of information from middle class people to poor people. So we now have what we call so-called underclass people.
But if what you know is that critically important, and I don't know anybody who will argue it, how is it possible, in the light of Mr. Kozol's nightmarish and brutally honest and well-researched review of the horror story of public education, especially in the inner cities, for Black children to know anything?
White power structure and the white community in America are out of options. They can no longer afford racism, and they can no longer afford school systems that don't work for this following reason. In 8 years, over 50% of the population workforce will be female and non-white. In 30 years, this will be a majority numerically non-white nation. If we do not train women and non-whites to go into the workforce for high-tech skill jobs in the next 8 years, none of us in this room is going to have a job at all. So Mr. Kozol, there's another dimension to what he is saying, and I'm sure he's more than aware of it. And that is, it is not Black schools that have failed. The American school system has failed. It is not the ones who drop out that are the problem. The ones who graduate are the problem. We do not have a school system that does anything for post-secondary education, and we don't have a school system that does anything for the bottom 50%, which is why Germany and Japan are beating our brains out.
Regardless of the color of the student.
Regardless. Now, when you get to Blacks, we cannot leave out of this equation the Black middle class. And we cannot leave out of this equation, no matter what the government does, and the government should do something. We cannot leave out the obligation of the Black middle class to transfer its wealth, primary wealth, which is human capital or information, to those in our community who don't have it.
May I ask you're a capitalist with a...
I am not a capitalist, and you said that before. I'm not interested in proving capitalism. I'm interested in using a free market system to alleviate the problems in the Black community.
Is capitalist a bad word?
Well, if the way you're using it is though I am trying to prove that this system is better than that system.
No,
I'm not into ideology. You can call me anything you want.
You're a businessman who takes full advantage of the free market opportunities. Let me put it that way.
I'm trying to pay my rent and keep the phone.
Very good.
Now, I don't know what you call that. Whatever you call that, that's what I do. Now, okay, so I am simply interested in this. There are 30 million of us. We earn $300 billion. We spend 6.6% of our money with one another, 95% with other people. I'm simply interested in creating structures so we can transfer that money back, and most of all, not to any Black person in this room, but to poor Black people, because the difference in the achievement of our community will not come from middle-class Blacks like us who have done so well under affirmative action. Poor Blacks didn't get a nickel. They're the ones who are hurting, which is why the Black community is in such dire difficulty.
We're leaving out a lot of things in this story. There are hardworking, good people working in community development corporations, and your emphasis, I like the piece that Tony did, your emphasis on middle-class African-American neighborhoods and the growth of these neighborhoods in cities and in suburbs is something that mustn't be left out of this picture. Otherwise, people aren't going to try.
Your point is made at a time when the middle class is identified with the NAACP, the Urban League, and the traditional we shall overcome civil rights leaders of the 50s and 60s that have been all but abandoned and ignored by young people.
Not them showing like debates. I literally hate debate with a passion.
I think that the dice are loaded, and that's what's left out of Mr. Brown's piece. See, there was a period of time in this country after Reconstruction where African people owned a lot of land, owned a lot of businesses, and did a lot of things. But what happened was the American government, the Ku Klux Klans, and other organizations organized in smashing that effort. So it's not that we haven't tried to own lands and have not organized businesses. It's that if you are African in America or in Latin America or in the Caribbean or in the continent, you will be hunted no matter what you do, because they do not want us to survive and become self-sufficient. And you can say no, but you haven't lived this life. You haven't lived this life.
Mayor Kelly's time.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of reason for a lot of our anger, given our history in this country that persists even in 1992. No question about it. But the issue becomes, how do you harness that anger? Do we sit up here and talk about our history, or do we harness that anger to become an empowered community?
You do both.
Now, let me just finish. There's some of us who are struggling right now to empower our communities through educational systems and a whole host of things, trying to shift some capital in the hands of our own community so that when you produce something creative, that the people who have control over the distribution rights are African Americans as against other type of Americans, and that when we go out of this global marketplace, we will be a force with which to be reckoned. We seem to forget, however, that in in the midst of all of this, there is a shift that is occurring throughout this whole globe. It isn't just the plight of those of us who are African Americans. Our plight is exacerbated, but we're in a global market. We're dealing with people from all over the world where a market can be taken over overnight by new developing nations. We need to have a better educational system. America's educational system is in a sorry condition. And the worst form of capitalism was perpetuated, espoused in the last decade by a man named Ronald Reagan with, are you better off today? Walked away from research and development, walked away from education, walked away from savings, walked away from the capacity for capital formation. The worst form of capitalism was symbolized in the last decade, and that's why we're paying a handsome price. Now, we can sit up and get angry, we can sit up and talk about it, but the question is, what are we going to do about it? And I say, let's start doing something about it now and empower our own community and stop pointing the finger at one another.
I have a question. All right, we're gonna stop it on Shady Boots, Kaya.
All right. So that was obviously like a little bit less formal than we would debate in a competition setting, but that's how we debate. Like that's how you probably have debated with people that you know all the time. So that just shows you that it's not that hard. You've probably done this before. If you're nervous or if this is your first time debating, you can be passionate about something and you've argued that point. The other thing is what these shorter form debates show is that debate, our coach always says, debate is about moments. So you see all of them only have such a short time to speak, but they're using it super effectively, having these hard hitters, these things that are going to be remembered and carried on throughout the conversation that people are going to have to reference. And that's just going to shift the way the conversation is going. So you want to make sure that your speech is packed full of them because that's what you take away. You take away all of that. Okay, we have another one real quick here for you. Should we play that? Here, let me.
Okay, it's Tracy Morgan and Monique. Chill. This is my baby mother. Only I do that. Mo, your mom's so old. She knew the honeycomb bear when he was a Chicago Cub.
Nigga, please. Your mama's so old. The bitch squirt powdered milk out her titties.
I think something happened with the audio.
Sorry, child. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't hear it, but I heard the part that I needed to hear.
You couldn't hear that the whole time?
All I could hear was the your mama so old, that part.
Well, that's the only part you needed to hear. I hope the rest of y'all can hear it.
Yeah, it just played that part, but that was the important part. Literally iconic. Yeah, so that moment, that iconic moment, your mom was so old, that's something that people have probably done countless times. Like people do that on the playground, to movies, like fully fledged movies, people have pulled that joke out. So just making sure that your moments are impactful and have the confidence to deliver it. And girl, okay. Man, oh, the other thing, again, we all play like your mama jokes with each other, hitting the points that you think is going to get a reaction out of other people. Again, we're obviously not going to go up and do your mama jokes, but you know what's a vulnerable spot to somebody else that's going to make them take a step back and be like, dang, you actually talking about my mom right now? So making sure you know what those points are and then how to hit them is going to make your debating so much better. Okay, next we got speech and debate culture. The world is a cruel place for Black women. SCSD is his arch nemesis. So Jordan has in fact talked about people's mamas in debates. Anyway. So one of the main things that I think is really important about speech and debate culture is that we can see through each of the examples that we've shown you. This is something that's not new to Black women, that's true to us. It's in the way that we communicate with each other. And sometimes it can be hard or feel like maybe dangerous isn't the right word, but just like unaccepted if you were to genuinely argue for yourself in the corporate world or in the real world. People will look at you as the angry Black girl, and we still get looks that way at a lot of debates. But knowing that we can use our speech to motivate and to change, to advocate for ourselves or for what we believe in, and do so in different venues is super empowering. And it just is a important callback to what it is to be as Black women. Like, our full name is Whitley Fawcett. And so that just talks about the history that is being a Black woman. So obviously, not obviously, but if you didn't know, Phyllis Wheatley was the first woman of African descent to publish poetry in the US. And then Fawcett was an editor during the Harlem Renaissance, and those were storytelling clubs that were named after. So it's just the idea that being in this sort of community isn't new to Black womanhood or to Black women. And this is a space that we can excel in regardless of any stigma that's attached to us being aggressors. Okay, it's a little long-winded. All right, so briefly, these are just some general expectations that we have. Okay, so we have meetings. The plan is to have meetings a few times a week, right now 3 times a week, and we would have the final meeting be on Thursdays at Woody at Clark Atlanta. And it would just be an AUC debate with Morris Brown and Clark Atlanta, and talking about things that matter to the Black community and some things that are less serious. Just having a time and space to be 6 p.m. Having time and space, Ariel, sorry, 6 p.m. on Thursdays, this will be happening. But having time and space to just be in community with each other and talk about things that we want to talk about and have a good time, of course. Other than that, we have 2 other debate practices a week. And typically that looks like going over theory and practicing one of the days, and then the other day, getting presentations from different people about different concepts that we can then apply to debates that we're in. We also are going to be having community service requirements and projects that we want to work on. We want to work with Coretta Scott King's Young Women's Leadership Academy. Woof, not me getting tongue-tied. That's a Black young women's middle and high school in Atlanta. And so we want to work with them and building confidence through a debate team, and just other community service projects in the greater Atlanta area. The other thing is we are going to have dues, which will be $30 for the school year. And that's going to include your t-shirt, a pin, a water bottle, induction ceremony fees, and a certificate, and then some other operating costs as they come along. All right, and then so next week or tonight, actually, the application is going to open. We'll start with that tonight at 8 p.m. After this meeting, the application is going to open up, and that application is going to be sent out school-wide, as well as if you went to the RSO fair and we have your email, it'll be sent out to you as well. And then the application will close on the 30th of August. So that gives you guys a week to look at it and to fill it out. It's not super strenuous or anything, but if you don't feel like starting it now, you have plenty of time. And then beyond that, we are going to have tryouts the next day and into the next week from August 31st to September 3rd, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And as we get in your applications, we're going to review them and then send out a time for a tryout slot. So yeah, Jalen is going to continue talking about tryouts.
All right, so getting into what tryouts will actually consist of. So this is the Spelman College speech and debate team. You can do one, you can do the other, or you could do both. So if you are just trying out for speech, You will need to come prepared with a 1-minute speech, poem, or monologue of your choice. It could be original, it could be from your favorite play, favorite spoken word, it can be from a poem. Just show us that, you know how to speak, in front of people. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a competition piece. We just want to know that you were able to perform in front of an audience. If you're just doing debate, we're going to do what's called a 2-3-1 debate. So usually how this is set up, we will have a side government, which is the affirmative, and then side opposition, which is in the negative. So side government will speak for 2 minutes. Side opposition will provide a 3-minute speech, which will consist of a rebuttal to the government speech and also their main points to speaking to the resolution, and side government will get another chance to provide a rebuttal. So each side will get 3 minutes to speak in total, and this will be a one-on-one debate. If you're interested in both, you will do the speech requirements, but we had a few people at the RSO fair that are experienced in debate. In that case, you will do the debate round when you go to tryouts. Next slide. Okay, so why are we all here? Why should you join? What do you get out of this? I know we're all not just joining for, resume filler, at least I hope not. But out of this, you'll get community engagement. So how Kaya kind of touched on this, we're working with local school with, building up confidence in speech and debate and hopefully have them matriculate into the speech and debate world. Also opening up opportunities to just the greater Atlanta area, like she said, opportunities for the city as a whole. Travel opportunities, we are a traveling debate team. Last year was kind of different because of COVID, but this year, hopefully we'll have some traveling opportunities when we do have competitions out of the city, out of the state, some of them out of the country. So that's also what we'll get out of this. Professional development. So if you don't necessarily have to be a political science major or international studies. In my introduction, I introduced myself as a biochemistry major on the pre-med track. But this will give me the professional development I need going into the corporate world and going into the professional world, with speaking and also standing your ground whenever you're provided with the case that you're supposed to be speaking on. And even if you're on the pre-law track, like Haley is on the pre-law track, this could also help with that in a significant way. And also bonding. We had a team outing yesterday at Cascade. We'll have more events where we'll be able to bond as an entire team, just to get to know each other a little bit, kind of break away from the stresses of school and the stresses of debate, because it is a pretty rigorous organization to be a part of. Again, just to get to know everyone. Next slide. Okay, so here's the interactive portion of our evening. Can I first take a brave volunteer for our first debate drill? And you can use the raise hand button. Okay, Amani, awesome. So we're gonna do a speech exercise. You up for the challenge? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so we're gonna do a speech drill really fast. So I'm gonna give you a phrase to speak. And exactly, she was quick with it. Love the energy. I'm gonna give you a phrase, and I'm going to say it and articulate it in a specific manner, and I want you to repeat it back to me in that same manner. I'm gonna say it twice. So this will help with articulation, diction, and enunciation. All right. The big black bug bit the big brown bear. I'm gonna say it one more time. The big black bug bit the big brown bear. I'm gonna copy and paste it in the chat, but make sure when you say it, it's first of all, project, and also make sure we can hear each and every consonant. So articulation and enunciation.
Okay. The big black bug bit the big brown bear.
Perfect, perfect. Can I get one more volunteer? I'm gonna give you another one. Okay, I'm gonna see if I get Ivoriana. Did I say it correctly?
Yes, it's Ivoriana.
Okay, love it. Okay. So I'm gonna give you another one, kind of similar, but it's gonna be the same thing. The big brown bear bled blue black blood. I'm gonna say it one more time and then I'm gonna copy and paste it in the chat. The big brown bear bled blue black blood. So I'm gonna copy and paste it.
The big brown bear bled blue black blood.
Okay, try it one more time, but especially at the end of bled blue black, make sure you at the end, black blood. So it's kind of like there's an at the end of every word. So the big brown bear bled
blue. Okay. The big brown bear bled blue black blood.
There you go. There you go. So this is just a kind of a teaser into what our speech drills will look like, because we will have practice time set aside specifically for this, for not only our speech competitors, but in debates, it's kind of hard for the judge to judge you if they can't hear you or understand you. They're not really supposed to be judging based on, speech, especially if you have like a speech impediment, they're not supposed to be judging you based on that. But sometimes, if they can't hear your argument, what is there to judge? So that's what we really are focusing on going into this year, speaking better than the other team, also having better arguments than the team, but this is a big proponent of that. Next slide, please. Okay, so going into the future of the Spelman College Speech and Debate team. This team is mostly student run. You see that we have a pretty big e-board. We have our wonderful coaches, Robert Brown and Terry Thompson, who give us the skills we need to succeed and, also just coach us. But we got to have a team in order to do that. So we thrive with the participation of you guys. We thrive off of you coming to practice every day, you giving it your 110%, you taking that guidance, not only from Coach Rob and Coach Terry, but also from your teammates who may have, a few words of wisdom. We also thrive off of community engagement, like I was saying before. The team is really committed to giving back to the community as one of the oldest organizations on campus. We want to show that off. That's also where this team is headed. And we also focus on Black issues. So again, what Kyle was talking about, how the debate team is the arch nemesis to the debate world. We focus on Black issues. You see how all of the videos we have shown you were focused on issues surrounding Black people. When we go into debates, we debate real harms, real people, real impacts. This may be a debate round, haha, kiki, friendly competition, but this is real. This is not a game. After being invalidated by numerous white spaces debating non-Black issues, that's the space that we are setting for this team. So we can debate economics, we can debate policy, we can debate other races, but the tone that we are setting for the year going into this competition season is debating Black issues, because after all, we are HBCU and we want to share this Black excellence and this Black knowledge with other people. So with that being said, next slide. Strictly for the, hello. With that, does anybody have any questions? I saw while I was talking, people were asking in the chat. Shania.
Okay, so will practices and tryouts be via Zoom or will they be in person?
So tryouts will be in person, if I'm not mistaken. We're breaking it up. There's a lot of you guys, so we're breaking it up just to adhere to, COVID guidelines and all. Also, we do realize that not everybody is going to come to practice every single day. But if that is the case, we will be breaking off into specific groups just so we don't have, too many people in one space. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Ariana, do you have another question or is your hand just still raised?
Yes, I have a question in regards to how many people can you accept on the debate team? How there's a basketball team. I mean, they have 15 people, but there's really only 5 players. So how does that work in regards to the selection process and how many people, would basically be considered to be on the debate team?
I can get
Yeah, so wonderful question. So this is not like a harsh cap, you know, how basketball has 5 players on the court at one time. We don't send the same like 2-3 people to debates every time. It's as many as we see fit. If you show up and you show us that you have potential, then you have to, you know, work your way and put your 100%, 10% effort into getting to competing and all of that. So it's really what you make it. If you show up and you show out at practices, then of course you're going to get, you know, competition opportunities. So it isn't necessarily like, oh, we have 50 people, that's it, that's all. It's not like that at all.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Letitia, you're next.
Hi. So obviously I have a question. So when I want to try out for the debate team, but I have no experience in speech or debate, but I'm interested in both. What would that process look like?
The exact same. A few of us, when we came in, we didn't have any experience at all. I didn't. I was kind of forced to start debating on my first day. I kind of jumped right in it, but I didn't have, you know, much debating experience. It really does not matter. Like, this is a team that will build you up from the bottom up. I'm not saying that you guys are starting from the bottom, but you know, for the students that have no experience, we do build you up. We give you the skills that you need to succeed. You go into the competitions and you win. And if you don't win, you did your best. And each competition, you get better and better. That's why we are organizing these scrimmages. So you have, you know, real debate experience every single week. And also in practices, we scrimmage among each other and debate kind of, you know, lighthearted issues. Sometimes it may be serious, but don't let the fact that you have no experience discourage you from trying out and from going out for the team, because I can guarantee you more than half of the participants in here are in the exact same boat. So to everyone, if you have no experience, that doesn't matter. Still come to tryouts. You may surprise yourself.
Okay, I have one more question. I know that you mentioned that we will have practice every day and weekly. So what would that time commitment look like exactly?
So kind of, again, it's what you make it. If you don't necessarily have to show up to every single practice in order to compete, but you know, if you're not there most of the time, then you probably will not get a chance to compete. But let's say, I'm looking at the chat, sorry. But let's say you have a scheduling conflict on Tuesday. Let's say we practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you have a scheduling conflict on Tuesday. As long as you communicate that to us and we see that you're putting your time and effort, you know, outside of practice into, you know, the betterment of yourself, then that shouldn't really pose a problem, just as long as you're consistent. That's another thing. Being as consistent as possible will, you know, help you get to that competition status and, you know, just make you a better speech competitor and debater as a whole. So don't fret if you have, you know, a few time commitments here and there. It's not like 3 strikes, you're out. It's not like that at all, but we do expect you to be consistent. And if not, communicate your situations. Did I answer your question?
Yes. If you don't mind, I have one more question.
Absolutely.
So if we do not make the debate team, is there like a shadowing opportunity for people?
That's a good question. And we've actually been thinking about that, what that looks like for people who do not make the team. We are definitely looking into that. That is for sure an option, because we don't want to just cold exclude people, you know, like you're not on the team, that's that. We definitely want to, you know, still help, you know, grow and hopefully get a spot on the team next year. But yes, we're working on that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I have a question. So you said if we're interested in both, we only have to do the speech tryout, but do we do both applications? Like, is the application separate from the tryout?
This is one application and you'll indicate.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. No problem. Anise, did I get it right? Yeah, you got it right. Thank you so much. I love that. So I just had a question. Do you know where practices and where tryouts are located yet? Or is that not, or do you guys not know? So we're currently working with our advisor, Dr. Lewis, on scheduling spaces. And as soon as that information is finalized, definitely before next week, we'll be sending that out. And I have one more question. Does it matter, like when I performed before, sometimes I can be like not too dramatic, but the piece can be too controversial. So do you guys care like what type of piece? But it's about like women's rights. Absolutely not. Then the controversy, I feel like, is our middle name. Okay. We love controversy. Not saying that we get in the mix of all of that, but we debate controversial issues. And if you have a controversial piece, bring it on in. I mean, the most it can do is spark discussion, and that's kind of the space that we've been tailoring. So yeah, absolutely. Oh, and our auditions private, just like the coaches and the like captains, I guess, or is it like in front of? Oh, and I'm glad you asked that question. So we want to get you guys used to performing in front of people, a lot of people, because that's kind of, some speech competitions or most have a stage with an auditorium and, a bunch of people. So we want to get you guys used to that. Of course, there will be nervousness associated with that, but just so you guys know beforehand, it will not be like, the coaches and you. It'll be a group of people. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Haley, or is it Hailey?
It's Hailey.
Hailey.
I just wanted to ask, what I missed the part where you said what style of debate we'd be doing for the not audition, but
okay, so it's called a 3-2 or 2-3-1. So it's a one-on-one debate. One person, so you'll have a resolution. One person will be side government, which is affirming the resolution. So it's for the resolution. And then you have side opposition, which is against it. So side government will go first for 2 minutes, presenting their case, disproving kind of the opposite of the resolution. And then side opposition comes in for 3 minutes. Not only do they provide a rebuttal, but they provide their own case to, solidify their stance and disprove the other argument. And then just so we can give government a rebuttal, side government will speak again for 1 minute to provide final rebuttals and conclusions.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. And we'll be explaining this all again when you try out. So don't be too hung up on memorizing all of this. Okay. Is it Kaisley?
It's Kyle.
Is what?
Kyle.
Okay, what's that name?
Thank you. I have 2 questions. So one, where is the application, where it will be found? And 2, is this video going to be posted somewhere so we could watch what we missed in the beginning, because I came in?
Yes, so the application will be emailed out, kind of like the blast emails have been going out. They'll be there. Again, coming from our advisor. And also, if you signed up with us at the RSO tables, you'll be getting an email from us with that application as well. And then Jordan just said, as far as the that's the application. Yeah, Jordan, you can take this part of the question about the recording.
Can y'all hear me? Can everybody?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So the application will be posted literally on the next slide after we finish questions. There will be a QR code that you all can scan and go ahead and fill it out. It is a very short application, so I advise y'all not to procrastinate, because once the deadline hits, we cannot take any more applications. It's very much so final. So yeah, I can take over the rest of the questions if you want to take a break, Jalen. They've been hitting you with the punches.
It's no problem if you want to. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Who's next? Was that all your questions? Okay, so I'm just gonna unmute y'all and then y'all can speak because I can't see y'all's names. Jada Darden.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, I just had a question about, like, if you were interested in like trying out, I guess, for speech and debate, would you do like the whole prepare a monologue or a poem as well as the debate, or would it just be one?
It would just be the one. I believe Jalen said it would just be the debate that you all would be doing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I also had another question, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I guess if you were like just trying out for speech, like how would you be like utilized on the team? Like, is that like a specific type of, I guess, like debate, or like, you know what I mean? Like, how would you like compete, like just as a speech?
Okay, so speech tournaments and debate tournaments are completely separate. Even though you can kind of weave your way out of them, they are completely separate tournaments and events. So if you are just interested in speech, you'll just participate in speech tournaments and events. You don't have to participate in debate. Likewise for debate. If you are interested in both, you can kind of, veer across the lanes. You can go to speech tournaments or debate tournaments, but it's really up to you. You really do have that choice of what you want to compete in. Did that answer your question?
Okay. Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Let's see. Ivory, you have another question?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, was my hand still raised?
Yes.
I am so sorry.
Hey, don't worry about it. Okay. I don't want to mispronounce your name, but it's spelled AGE.
Hi, yes, it's AG. My question was, I also have no experience in speech and debate. What would be your advice, like preparing for the upcoming tryouts?
I mean, I always practice my speeches, debates in the mirror. Jalen just had us do an exercise, the big black bug with the big brown bear exercise. That's really great for intonation, cadence, and your diction and all the other stuff, all those fancy words that she said. So I would say just practice. Don't be too nervous. We won't bite you or tear you apart or anything like that. We really just want to see that you can communicate everything that's going on in your head effectively. Issa Rae vibes, exactly. You know how she was in the mirror, like rap it to herself, just like that. Okay. Was that all your questions?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, next we have Amaya.
Hi, hello, my name is Amaya Starks. I was wondering, I did do speech and debate all 4 years in high school, and I was in the National Speech and Debate Association. I was wondering, is there a point system similar to high school, where it's like you get points for every tournament, or how you placed in the round? And do those still contribute to my National Speech and Debate Association account, or is it just like a new thing?
That's a really good question. Kaya, do you want to grab that one?
Yeah, so it's not like cumulative from this point combined with like high school, but in round, they are judging you on a point-based system. And what they look for, changes slightly depending on what event you're in, but it is similarly like you'll be getting points. The judges will have their reasons. Some of it's pretty similar. What events did you compete in high school?
I did debate, and then I also competed in poetry, prose, DI, poi, OO. Those, yeah, I think that's it. I also did oil, and yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So, my computer's glitching. Okay. I think our coach put a little bit more information in the chat. So the same point system exactly isn't carried over. And then there's a cap on your high school total points that collegiately it doesn't contribute to.
Okay.
Is that?
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, y'all. Oh,
I can keep going, or you want to?
let me get the next few and then you got it. Uh-oh. Dang, I clicked the wrong button. Anyways, that's the application link if y'all want to go ahead and access the application. Tia Watts.
Hi, my name is Tia Watts. I was wondering, during tryouts, do we need to wear like business casual attire, like dress professionally for like the debate and speech portion?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
You are. The only time I would say that we would really be dressing professionally is when we go to in-person debates at other HBCUs because they take that very seriously. But you'll find out that like white people show up to debates in pajama pants and slippers like they go into Walmart. And we don't want y'all to feel obligated to come like in your best dress, whatever, when, people is showing up, in their Cookie Monster pants. You know what I'm saying? So just come as you are. We are not going to judge you based on what you wear. We just want to know that you can, speak and articulate yourself.
And then another question is, let's say we don't make it, or even if we do make the debate team, do you guys give us feedback during the tryouts to let us know what we can do to better our, like the way we speak and articulate words and everything like that?
That is a really great suggestion. We actually haven't given any thought into that, but I think we will take heed to that suggestion. We'll think about it.
Okay, thank you.
There's gonna be a lot of y'all, so for the sake of time, it might be pushing it, but we'll definitely try to give you all some feedback.
Okay, thank you so much.
Winter.
Hello. I saw in the chat that it said something about a topic will be sent after you submit your application. So is that for debate or is it for speech?
It's for debate. We want to leave it open for speech because, like we said, it can be poems, monologues, or anything like that. And we don't want to really limit y'all in the same way that a debate would be limited. So feel free to, bring any poem, monologue, or whatever, as long as it's in the 1 minute time section. And then if you are in debate or trying out for a debate, we'll email you a topic.
Okay, thank you.
Adriana, I hope I pronounced it right.
Hi, it's Adriana.
Okay.
I just had a question about speech competition. So what would a speech competition look like? Because I know you just said like for tryouts, it's basically free range. So like for a competition, like how does that work basically?
Do you mean how would you dress? I need a little more specifics. You want like start to finish?
More so like if I'm in a competition and like it's a speech competition, are we saying like the same, like is my opponent saying the same thing, or are we just like how am I supposed to win over my opponent basically? Like that's my question I guess.
Speech competitions are almost entirely based on what type of speaker you are, how you articulate yourself, your diction, your speaking style, how compelling you are to like listen to. That's what speech is mostly judged on. Like we said earlier, you in some tournaments you will have time to prepare days or even weeks and months ahead of time, and other times you'll be given it on the fly. You'll be given a topic on the fly. As far as whether or not your opponent will have the same topic, I have to check on that because I'm not a speech person. Kaya, do you have any insight?
Yeah, I can jump in real quick. So it definitely, like Jordan said, it completely depends on what type of speaking are doing. There are definitely events where there will be a generalized topic sent out amongst everyone, and you might have like 15 minutes to prepare a speech, or you might have 30 minutes to prepare a speech. It just depends on the different events that you're doing. And then there are some events that you would get to completely independently choose a piece, and you would work on that piece and perform that. And that would most likely be different than what everyone else is performing. And once we get started, we're definitely going to go over the different specific speech categories, and you can choose which one you like the most and which one suits your speaking style the best. Hopefully that answered it for you.
Yeah, it did. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, and one thing, just make sure you guys are looking at the chat, because our coach is dropping some really good information for you guys. So just keep an eye on the chat.
Yes. Coach Rob is the expert, so please refer to the chat. Let's see, Letitia Jones.
Okay. I have one more question. In the debate team, will we do like vocabulary exercises or anything of that nature?
Say it one more time.
I said, in the debate team, will we do vocabulary exercises, like working on enhancing our vocabulary or anything of that nature?
Absolutely. One thing about the speech and debate team is we read and we research heavily before we go into any type of tournament or competition. We are hoping that, you know, in a lot of, oh, sorry, I was looking at the chat. In a lot of the events or competitions that you go into, that you will be well versed in a wide variety of topics, so that you can pull any and everything out of your back pocket that you need to win that round and make a compelling argument. Which is why, as Jalen said earlier, we like to have a diverse array of majors. Jalen is a biochemistry major. She can tell me about nuclear warfare on Black people. I can tell you about race, politics, arts, and culture. Kaya can tell you about massage noir. Like, we have such a wide variety of people with such a wide variety of interests and knowledge on the team, that whatever you compete in, whether it be speech, debate, you will be more than well prepared. Emphasis on more.
Okay, thank you.
Kyra McGee.
Hi, I wanted to ask, if someone only put down their interest for doing just speech, but in like the middle of the year they wanted to like start getting into debate, would they have opportunities to do so, or would they have to wait until like the next year?
I would say even if you just have a mild interest in one or the other, put both down, because we have to take, you know, an accurate count of who will be competing in what. Of course, as the year goes on, people will say, I want to try this, or I want to try that. I want to get in the speech. I want to get in debate. And that's fine. But for right now, even if it's just like a little inkling of speech or debate, put both on the application, please.
But on that continued, you're just gonna spend so much time practicing like the specific things if you only want to do speech or you only want to do debate. And by the middle of the year, like, your progression will just double, honestly, if you're working on enhancing the skills in both skill sets, versus if you just want to switch over. You can still do it. You're still going to be amazing. You're still going to be supported, but it'll just take a little bit longer to get adjusted and to get acclimated to a different style. It'll be a learning curve like anything else. So yeah, like Jordan said, if you think you might be even a little bit interested, take the leap and just work on both.
Okay, thank you.
Desiree, please forgive me if I mispronounced that.
It's Desiree. I just came a little late, so I was just wondering, are y'all like friendly to people who haven't done debate before? Like, I was always interested in it, but my high school never had anything like that. So would you have to have experience already in order to join, or?
No. So I joined the team last year just off of a kind of a whim. I had a little bit of public speaking experience, but I had no debate experience, and went on to win tournaments at Cornell, at some school in Jamaica, like, and now I'm the captain of the team. Like, come on, it is very friendly. I have stories for days about me messing up in practice, going like getting off the Zoom to cry. Y'all don't know this. Getting off the Zoom to cry because I was like, oh, boohoo and embarrassed, and then going to a debate the next day and literally eating them white folks up. Like, it's, you're gonna make some mistakes and you might feel embarrassed and your ego might be hurt, but like that there's a little point where your ego gets hurt and then you get like 10 times better than what you were before. But we'll always support you. That was a long-winded answer. I just wanted to tell y'all I'll be crying. But but we will always support y'all in your endeavors on the team.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Amaya.
Hi. I was going to ask about the rehearsal times again. Is it every day or is it like 3 times a week? I don't know. Maybe I just misheard the answer earlier.
No, ma'am. So we're going to be practicing 2 times a week. The first day will be your research presentation. So we'll have a topic for the month that you all will research and present your research on. And then we'll learn about debate theories on that first day. And then the second day, we'll actually put into practice what we learned. So if the topic is something general like Black women, we'll talk about the Tumlin model, and we'll talk about Black women's mortality rates in the hands of white physicians, right? Stuff like that. And then on the second day, we will actually put that into practice. So you'll find a monologue or you'll write something that will have to do with the topic. And then for debate, you'll basically debate something that has to do with the topic. And then we're hoping if we can get the 2 teams together, that we can debate with Morris Brown and Clark Atlanta University on that Thursday. But the Thursday is optional because it's going to be.
Is that, oh, sorry, so sorry. Is that just for, the debate theory days and like the speech days, we're all together on all 3 of those days? And is the Thursday optional day where all speech and debate are going to perform, correct? Or is it just the debate?
Okay, ask that one more time.
So on the 3 days that we're doing it, the learning process, correct? We're all together, speech and debate.
Yes.
And then that Thursday that that's the optional day to go perform, is that everyone or just the debate team?
No,
that's going.
It'll be everyone.
Okay.
It'll be open to everyone. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We can do it on the steps of Woody. If not, we have to find another place on campus. Are there any previous? Oh, sorry, got distracted. But yeah, it'll be open to everyone. Somebody
and
asked,
then,
oh, go ahead.
I was wondering if we were to make the team and we already have idea of what event that we want to go into, is that okay, or should we just are we gonna get put somewhere? I was just wondering, is it like that?
No, you can. Please tell us what you want to do. We want you to do what you're most interested in. We're not going to force you into any category for speech or debate. We want you to do what you feel comfortable doing, what you feel like is your strong suit.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Somebody asked if there are any previous recordings of the Spelman debate team during competitions. We do have some, but they're in the archives and we probably won't be releasing them we probably won't be releasing them on social media. On YouTube, there is a video of us debating at Northern Caribbean University that I'm sure somebody will drop in the chat of me and Haley and Kaya and Jalen debating at Northern Caribbean University. So you can see a little of us somewhere. Lauren Huff.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and my question is about the tryouts. So, do you want us to come? This is a stupid question, but do you want us to come all 4 days of the week for tryouts, or is it just one?
No, ma'am. You just have to come one day of the week.
All right, thank you.
Like we said, the window is very small, so it'll only take like 5 minutes max of your time. We want it to be very quick for y'all. Is there a tire for
All right.
auditions? No, you can come as you are for auditions. Evelyn Rich.
Hi, my name is Evelyn, and I also got here late, so I don't know if this was answered already. But if you were to make the team and you wanted to, I guess, observe for a while and see how the team works and everything, and then ease into speeches and debates, is that possible, or are you just thrown in there?
Okay, you're covering your mic, I think. So can you ask that one more time? Evelyn.
Sorry. I was asking if I were to make the team and I wanted to see, I guess, how the team works and ease into doing speeches and debates, is that possible, or would I just be thrown in there?
You know, I'm an advocate of just throwing people in the ring, right? Like, if you wait and you get into your head with it, listen, Jalen said she was chucked. I was also chucked. But sometimes you just gotta jump into it and get out of your head, right? Like, none of us were perfect when we first started speaking or debating. And we don't expect you all to be perfect. So I'm an advocate of pushing you in and being like, now do what you do because you're on the team for a reason. But if you feel like, hey, Jordan, I don't want to be pushed in, you can just let me know and we can work something out on the side. But, like we said, we make this a comfortable space for you all. So you don't have to feel scared or anything like that. Did that answer your question, Evelyn?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Jada?
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if you already answered this, but for the audition times, once we submit our application, are you guys gonna let us know when our audition time is, or we just show up for one of the slots?
So on the application, you'll see that you can choose which day and time you want to come. There are time slots, and so it'll be up to you. If you choose, I don't know, Wednesday at 6:30, then that'll be up to you, and you will be expected to show up during that time slot. We will send you a confirmation email with, all the information that you need to have, but yeah.
I accidentally like put all the ones I was available because I thought it was like asking like when are you available. So I kind of accidentally put multiple.
If it's just when you're available, we'll just pick one for you.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody have any more questions? Is there anything we need to bring or prepare for tryouts? People that are interested in speech need to bring a 1-minute monologue, poem, or speech that they can perform during tryouts. People that are interested in debate will do a 2-3-1 tryout. That's a 2-minute opening argument, 3-minute rebuttal, and 1-minute closing argument. And you all will be given the topic after you submit your application. Any other questions? I'm looking through the chat. Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
My name is India, by the way. So I guess I would be under speech, but like what I'm most familiar with and what I've done in the past is original oratory. So would I like bring a piece to perform or?
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-oh. Somebody just had their hand up, but they put it down. You can drop your question in the chat. Was that Disney? Is that how you pronounce your name? D-I?
Yes, that's how you pronounce my name. Hi. Well, she kind of answered my question, but I was gonna ask like, were there specific types of speeches we needed to prepare? Okay, thank you.
Anything you're comfortable with. If you already have experience in speech and you want to bring something that you prepared a while ago, feel free to do that. All right, last call for questions. Going once, going twice. All right, great. So with
There's
that,
one in the chat.
oh Lord. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sophia, honestly, do whatever you feel comfortable doing. Obviously, we welcome the creativity. If you feel comfortable sharing something that you've written, or if you feel comfortable doing that, then feel free to do that. But if not, it won't change the way that your performance is looked at. I think Amaya had just raised her hand too.
Yes. Oh, I had a question about the speech part. So if you do like, I don't know, you know how you sometimes get assignments that is like, use the same format of this poem, but create your own poem. Can you also use that as, for your spoken word or?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yes, we really want to reiterate that there are no limits except for on the debate part, because you do have a time limit. But feel free to like let your creative genius do its work. We're not going to limit what you all can do or how you all do it, as long as it stays in 1 minute. Eleanor. All right. If there are no other questions, one more question. Desiree.
Desiree,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So if we're interested in both like speech and debate, will we have to try out for both, or like will we have to prepare something?
Kai, you take that.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I think she just said Kaya, but if you're interested in both, just go ahead and do a speech tryout. So pick any 1 minute monologue that you feel comfortable performing, and just mark on your application that you're interested in both. And we'll know that way. Good, great. Anything else? Feel free, if you couldn't think of anything right now, but you'll think of something later, to email us at spelmancollegedebate@gmail.com. Or you can DM us on Twitter at Spelman Debate, or on Instagram. Oh, Spelman Team. Twitter at Spelman Team, Instagram at Spelman Debate. Sorry. Spelman Team, Spelman Debate. Yeah, or you can ask it right now if you think of something. But thanks so much for coming out. If that's everything, I think we're done. We appreciate it. It's been good to see your face or hear your voice, or just know that you're in the Zoom room. And hopefully we can see you guys in person next week. And we'll be sending out an email with the application. It will open up at 8, unless it's open right now, right? It's opening at 8, so set your timer. And we're so excited. Hopefully we get to see you guys soon. Thanks for coming. Goodbye. Good night. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Coming out.
All the